4-2. So as of this, so this is pretty much the swipe coin scalper, right? So right now we're on TradingView. What I'm going to be pretty much showing you is how to use the scalper strategy on any platform, right? So as it is within our platform, you have the swipe coin scalper that can teach you how to use it, and that's Shonical token as well. But I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to use this on TradingView so you can do this on your own time at any given moment, and also utilize the scalper to your better advantage. On top of the videos, YouTube videos already put in place to help you out, right? So right here, we're currently on a chart called BTC, right? BTC, and we were also on Ethereum. Let me actually go back to Ethereum. Let me go back to Ethereum as it is right here. And since we're teaching on scalper strategy, right? Swipe coin scalper strategy, I want to pull up the notes that we have here as well, so you can also have a visual view of the actual what's really going on here. Let me just screen a little bigger. It should be a better view right now. So over here, as it is, we have access to this, right? So swipe coin scalper strategy, how I see it, right, is this is pretty much how simply it is. Let me see. Do I have all this recorded, full screened? Go ahead and have this like this. Let me pull this up because I need both of them to be up at the same time. See, I can get both of them up at the same time. Let's see how I can get both of them up at the same time. I think this is going to be the way. All right, so right here we have the swipe coin scalper strategy. As it is, right? Let's just make it simple. Swipe coin scalper strategy. We're just gonna read and apply what's on the chart. You can use a strategy on crypto, right? ETH, BTC specifically, but you can really use it on any chart once you understand the flow of the strategy. One thing you need to make sure you have on your chart is right here, the EMA, SMA, right? And the EMA actually, and I have this one, right? But my settings, the way I've set it up, I removed that because I learned from an educator, Nick Gomez, he uses this, right? He uses all of them, but for this specific strategy, you only need the 50 EMA. So I unchecked everything but the 50. So how do I know it's that one? It's because I just went in order. 1, 2, that's just the order of it. So that's number 1. That's number 1. That's number 2, 3, and 4. That's really the order that I went about doing it. So visibility, you get to really choose your setting, but I didn't change anything but do that, right? So as I had it, I put it to yellow because that's what we have on a scalper. I now need to take myself to a 15-minute time frame because we're scalping, right? So we're going for short-term trades in and out of the market, being able to capitalize with the market in 30 minutes each time. So now, being on TradingView as it is, right? And this being fully educational, it's not financial advice, right? This is just truly educational. So here, as it's going down, what we can now take advantage of right now is given the fact that, okay, where the scalper is we're seeing this structure in the market. I'm gonna remove this from the way so we can have that fuller screen, and I'm gonna pull up the instructions. Now, I don't want you to defer from the instructions. I really want you to just follow the instructions because the instructions are really, really simple to follow. Let me put this here on the side. Perfect, I got it. All right. I believe we're missing one last image, right? Image. Let me bring this image up. Scalper. My screenshot folder. I want to see where, SSS strategy. The SSS strategy, triple S. Right here, there we go. Triple S strategy is exactly what we needed. And I'm gonna bring this image back up really, really shortly. But this is pretty much when we're trading this way, we're trading breakouts. So it's really, really important to understand the breakouts. I'll pull this back up in a minute and I'll break it down, but let's follow the steps. So right here, step 1, right? On the scalper, step 1. So title, scalper, solid step-by-step. Sean Gotosin, I learned this from him, right? So I got to give him all the shout out, all the praise, because I'm wishing everything in this life to come upon my life and more, right? So that's gratitude. So step one, move candlestick to line chart. So right now you're on TradingView. Your settings are probably not like mine, but I'll show you my settings at the end of the call. So right here is where you're gonna find the candlesticks. Mine already appears because I've put them in my favorites, right? And when you go, and you said to go from candlestick to line chart. So this is line chart. I put a star on it, so it's always there. I don't need to always click on it. So I'm gonna go on line chart because that's what he told me to do. So now I'm zooming out on the chart. So I'm gonna go right back to my instructions. So step two, right? Step two, figuring out the 50 EMA, right? So what do you mean by figuring out the 50 EMA? It means you want to know, right? You want to know the blue line, right? It says the blue line above the yellow line indicates it's a buy. Right? So now is the blue line above the yellow line? Right now, it's not.
The blue line, the price, as in that price that is moving.
Exactly. The blue line is current market price right now.
Oh.
Right? So now once we go back to the blue line, the blue line below the yellow line. So right now we can see the blue line is below the yellow line. So that means we're looking for sells in the market. Our focus should be focusing on the sells, right? Because that's what step two lets us know that we need to do, correct? So now we know that. Now step three. Step three. So far, like this is a really quick strategy. Step three says identify support. If it's a sell, so we identified it's a sell, right? So if it's a resistance, identify support if it's a sell. Now resistance if it's a buy, right? So in this case, it's a sell. So we're going to go ahead and identify levels of support. Now, how do you identify levels of support? So now you can go on TradingView, go right here, and take one of these, a trend line, an arrow, as you wish. Me personally, I just use a trend line, right? But what happens with a trend line? You can only drag it from one point to another point, right? So what I do to make it straight, I just click on shift so you can drag straight onto my screen. But if you wanted to just really go full all the way, because sometimes we want to be able to see in the past if it concords, right? You want to be able to use the horizontal line, right? So you go ahead and find a horizontal line and you place it where the support is. So now if we're looking together, right? Let's go back and read what the step three says, right? So you want to ensure that it breaks and closes above of its resistance and closes below if it's a sell, right? So what do you mean by that? I'm going to bring this image up. So right here, so if price, right, price closes above of this line in a 15-minute time frame, right? So, already on my screen, you can see we're on a 15-minute because it says 15, right? So if price is buying, right, and it breaks and close above of this, right? So that resistance, right, now becomes a new form of support. Is going to look just like this when you're buying. So your candle, 15-minute candle closes, the new 15-minute candle opens, you can buy right here on the close, right? You can buy right here on the close. Sometimes market will come back and test and go, but simple matter is break and close, buy. And break and close below, what is this? Break and close below the resistance, right? Break and close below is a sell. So right here, as you see it, if it breaks and closes below this, and this is how you want to see it on your candles. So you can flip from your line to the candles, and so you can actually see it, right, when we get to that part. And then sell. Give me just a moment, because I believe I have someone interrupting. Give me a moment. Back. We are back live with it. So I was mentioning the break and close. So now we're going to go on the charts and identify our levels of resistance and support, as we were mentioning, and we said we're going to use these tools to identify it, right? So right here, I'm going to go to a horizontal line, and since it's the price market is selling, we need to identify what did the steps say? We need to identify a support. So if it's selling, if it's the support, if it's selling. So let's go see a form of support. Support is your floor, right? Support is your floor. And how do you identify your floor? He even lets you know, right? He even lets you know within the strategy. So now, this is part of step 2, right? Step 3 right here. This is how you identify your support. So touch point system. Step 3, aka market structure. This is your touch point system. So you want to look at the market and look for 1 to 2 days. 1 to 2 days in the market. So example right here, we're currently right now on the 24th, right? So you want to look from 1 to 2 days. So that's 24th, 23rd, okay, 22nd. Okay, so between the 20, so what has been my support from the 22nd to about the 24th? 1 to 2 days, look for 3 to 5 touches. Now, let's do it together. So given that, we're looking at this, where do you believe would be a correct form of support? So I'm looking at this and I'm seeing this. Like you can even help me identify it. So what would be a correct form of support for this? And I'm like, within respecting this date today, right? 22nd, 23rd, and currently we're the 24th, right? So you want to look for 3 touches. So I'm right here, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, this area is a clear line of support, right? This is a clear line of support, but within today, we've seen a new support establish itself, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and identify this area, clear line of support. So within the, Carolina, let me see this, 1 second. Let me see this. Support. Where is the most support within this past 20 seconds? So 22nd, all the way up until here. So this would be the last line of defense. Okay, so this would really be the last line of defense right here. All right, so why did I decide to pick? Okay, so if I look at 22nd as overall, getting to this area, why am I looking at this area as an area of support? I'm just looking at it and I'm like, okay, within the last 2 days, this key area right here was an area of support. I'm actually gonna move it to right here because you're gonna understand why in a little bit, right? So that key area was an area of support. But now I'm gonna do this in a way where you can now go ahead and take this trade for the future purpose, right? So this also is an area of support. Let's be honest, because once this broke, this became a resistance, but this used to be the area of support. So given that, okay, I'm identifying the areas of support. So I'm now seeing this. I'm like, okay, this was the area, right? This was an area of support, and this area also was an area of support. Because what did we get? We get 1 touch. Let's start with this one. So we got 1 touch. This break here is 2 touch. So we got like this wick. If we look on the candles, this is probably a wick, and this is also probably a wick. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like within two to 3 days, you've seen more than 5 touches. So that's valid. And if we go back to the rules, 3 to 5 touches, right? We've gotten 3 to 5 touches. If we go to 3 days plus 5 to 10 touches, so okay, 3 days plus, and we see it as a valid area. We zoom out. Okay, this has been a valid line of support for the past what is currently 24th. For the past 3, 4, 5 days plus, this has been a line of support, and even also this also has been a line of support. So zooming out allows you to just see the truth of the market. So now going back to it. Right, we go right back to it and we see, okay, we have identified line of support. Now, we got to establish some things, right? So it's letting you know on step 4, you can go for a super trend, right? So step 4, a super trend is an indicator you can now use, right? But I believe you don't even need to make it to step 4 to make it happen. So once I identify my areas of support, this is the next thing I do. All right, this is the next thing I do. And I'll go ahead and touch on step 4 in just a moment, but I want to make sure we do this first. So I'm going to take, right here, we have a blueprint setup, right? So I have it already saved on my trading views. I'm going to show you in a second. We have resistance, right? Resistance, support. So whenever you mark up your chart, I want you to mark up your chart and take these and be able to write it down so you can have memory of what you're doing and send it out to the group. Send it out to me for confirmation, right? There's so many people in the group that can respond, but if you don't share anything, what do you want them to respond to? And even if you're not sure what they have, what they're putting on, you need to be able to voice yourself and ask, right? So you can get better understanding. So if we go to text, I have everything saved, right? So I'm going to go to ETH Blueprint. So I'm going to go to ETH Blueprint. Specifically for ETH and BTC, this is how I want you to follow through with it, right? So you're going to have this blueprint here. So we identified support, right? Support. So I'm going to go double click on it. I'm going to make it a little bigger so we make sure you can see it. So we identified that this is the support. We haven't even done the resistance yet because we're currently selling, right? The blue line was below what? The blue line was below the yellow line. So we're looking for sells until further notice, right? And after that, we're going to do the resistance. So you also know how to do it for future purposes and be able to take advantage of this current position if you desire to. So now on the resistance, let me move this to the side. We identify that resistance is currently, the support, is currently 19, right? 1956. I don't know if do you agree with me that we see this is a pretty good support, 1956. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to write 1956, just like that. 1956. And you see it's changing. It's changing in front of me, right? 1956. I'm going to put it to a round number. Potential sell ETH idea, right? And it says you want to make sure you set an alert, right? 50 pips below that area. Because that's where you're now going to be entering. So what are we going to do? What's 50 pips minus this area? So we're just going to go minus 50.
That is 1906.
Exactly. You got it. Okay. 1906. Right? So, okay. So once price gets to 1906, we just suddenly swinging it. Okay.
I was selling Abby.
Yeah. So, okay. So 1950. 5 points. Oh, okay. Excuse me. So it's not 50, it's minus 5. Excuse me. It's minus 5. It's 50 on ETH is 500 pips, right? So it's 5 points, right? So see, that's 5 points. So we're going to go back to this. So we're going to do, it says minus 50 pips, but it also says it minus 5, right? Minus 5. So the same way it says it right here, let me just bring it back. Look at that. Modify this for case. Just maybe because I personally already knew it, but just because of the fact. So right here we'll do minus 50 pips is minus 5. So in this case, as I know you got it right, so it's going to be 51, right? So 1951. So at 1951 is where you're going to set your alert, and that's where you're selling. Like it gets there, it breaks and closes, you are selling. But what are the conditions that make sure that you sell, right? So you can decide to, put a second line at that zone. This is optional, right? So you have a zone, right? So you can double click on this, it'll give you coordinates, and you can do that. Personally, I don't like to I personally don't like to I don't like to do that, so I just don't do it. Let me set this to 456. All right, so 56. So this is a current line of support right now. So 56, and we sell here. So what I do, you can set an alert on TradingView if you have a pro TradingView pack, right? Add alert, notification on the app. That's where you got to create an account, which is free. And you set your alert. Once it gets there, it lets you know. So you don't got to watch your charts. Once it hits there, you can now take action because you've already established what you need to get done, right? Okay, so now moving forward, after that, if you don't have a TradingView Pro pack and you can't set, because with TradingView, you can't set more than one alert at a time if you don't have a paid version. So this is where I don't have no affiliation with these websites, but I also use investing.com. So investing.com, what this allows you to do is to be able to set an alert for absolutely free 99, right? So free 99 means you got to just create an account. Why is it showing me this right now? Investing.com, back to it. So you go ahead and go to websites and you can search for anything. So let's say you search for Ethereum. So I'm going to click on it. So it'll see here, add. You can add this to your watch list. So create a watch list. Or next thing you can do, right? You can also create an alert. You can also create an alert. So let me get a refresh on this. And once you click right here, you can now create an alert. So with this alert, what now happens, you can now set exactly how you want your alert to be set. Whether you want it set up on just email notifications. I personally take emails off because I want just a mobile notification. You can download the app on your phone as well, and it works the same way. So that's what I do. So whenever it gets to my zone, it'll let me know that, okay, BTC has gotten to this zone. It's time for me to now buy in the market, right? Simple. It's now time to sell in the market, excuse me, or buy, right? With the alerts. So now we've identified the zones. Now, I'm going to do another one because I see an area of support there. So when it gets there, you already know what to do, right? So I'm going to take this, copy it. And I'm going to make a secondary text, right? But with this line here, that's down below here, right? I'm going to delete this because I don't like having multiple lines. So you just know that's where you set your alert, your hits. It breaks and closes this, you sell, right? So right now, and even if it broke and closed this, like some people are maybe buying, but hey, that could just be a big wick and market just drops down again, right? Because we need to take trades every 50-minute interval. So if you see the market's at 37, you need to wait till 45, right? But unless you saw the market at 30, and this is okay, you saw it at 30 and it broke, and it closed above. So the next close is for every 45 minutes, every 15 minutes, excuse me. So you have example right now, my time is currently 3:37. So at 3:45 my time, which is 8:45 your time, right? In Nigeria. So what you'll be able to do is now look, okay, what am I going to do in the market? Am I going to be buying or am I going to be selling? And then you execute. Simple as that, right? That's how the strategy works. You don't got to overcomplicate it, but now let's do down below here, right? Then I'm going to open it up for you to ask me your questions, and so we can end this call up, right? So over here we have 1924, right? So let me just set it 1924, all right? Clean, right? So since we have 1924, I'm going to drag this to the side here. 1924. And -5, which is now here. 19. Oh, it's 19. What is it? 1919? Is that right? I believe so. 1919. So given that that's 1919, what now happens when price gets to this zone? I'm prepared. I'm ready for war. Because if it breaks and close, I know it's selling. You see how everything is set up already for you to win? So now what we're going to do now, we're going to go right back to the instructions. And what we notice now, okay, I'm going to go back to the instructions, refer back to it. I took the Ethereum blueprint right here. I'm going to scroll back up. Let's go back to the beginning of step 3. Step 3 says, okay, even step 2. Let's go back to step 2. Because currently right now we see blue line is above what? The yellow line, which means price may be now looking to buy. But we're not going to take it for granted. We're going to set up our areas so we can take advantage of this buy. All right? So, okay. Now we need to identify the resistance. So the same way we identified support, we're going to go 2 to 3 days, but now it's going to be towards the upside. You see that? See how that works? So, okay, so we're going to identify resistance. So between where the 24th down all the way up onto what? So what's the resistance that we see? What's the nearest resistance? Yes, there's this resistance here, but we're not going to wait for market to get there to participate. Let's be real, right? So, okay, resistance. This could be a solid resistance. Like this really could be a solid resistance. But then again, only reason I don't like this lower one is just because there's so much noise and static over here. It wouldn't be a clean break. So I'm seeing a clean resistance right here. Right here, like this. There's so many touches here that I can't even ignore it. And okay, let's do it. You can always adjust. Always adjust in any case. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and continue on with this, right? Let's go ahead and continue on with this. Everybody calling my line. All right. Let's go ahead and continue on with this. So over here, we're going to identify area of resistance. Why do I say this is resistance? Because based on the strategy, right? How do you identify a clean resistance? 1 to 2 days. So 24, like we're almost 25, 24th, right? All the way to the 22nd. That's 2 to 3 days. So we have one touch. Like we have one touch, two touch. Like let me zoom in. Like 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, 5 touch, 6 touch, 7 touch. Like there's a lot of touches, right? So it's obvious that's where the market is, leaning towards the most. Okay, so now that we know that, like this is the maximum. Like this is like right here is like actually max pain. Someone could say that it's right here, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Someone could say it's right here as well, and they're not wrong. Both people are not wrong. It just depends on your perspective and how you're looking at the market. But there's a long way from where we are right now to that point. So someone can say, okay, you know what? If we break and close this area, like already breaking and closing this already gives me reassurance. But this area right here is a strong zone. We having multiple touches within the last 2 days, 1, 2, 3, and but here right here in this middle is where there's the most significant amount of touches. So if it broke here, I'd be very confident in buying. Because it broke down below. Look, broke, closed, right? It went down a little bit, but it came right back to test that same area and continued. So okay, let's see what's going on right here. So this is going to be the zone I'm going to be picking for the time being. And once we reach these area, this zone up here, that's going to be a very valid zone as well, right? So I don't want you to think there's no really right or wrong zone. Is according to where you see the market at that time. You may see different numbers than me, but we may also have similar numbers, right? Does that make sense? So right here, if you go back to it, Ethereum resistance, right? So we identified what areas of resistance so far. What's the extreme zone that we identified as resistance? We identified 1977 as a resistance, right? So 1977. So now 50 pips, because we want to make sure that it's a clean break. So 50 pips, because it's a clean break, means, okay, 77 plus 5. What's 77 plus 5, right? So we go here on the TV alert, we erase whatever was there, and we add it. 1977. I'm not even the best in math, right? 1977.
That is 90.
I didn't realize my camera turned off this whole time. So it was 1977. So is how much is it? 1982, I believe. Yeah. So it's gonna be 1982 plus 5. Because we're not doing plus 50, we're doing plus 5, right? Because on Ethereum, if you use this ruler, you can measure 5 points, right? So it's really simple as that. Just measure 5 and you're good to go. So I'm gonna put it to a round number. I'm gonna put this one up here to a round number as well. Uh, 1989. That's what I wanted. And put the candle on. Yeah. So you see when you put it to candles, you can see it like the clear zones the market is forming, right? And we imagine you would even use candles so far. The candles allows you to identify what's going on. But let's go right into it. So following the strategy, we've been able to identify an area to buy, an area to sell, and we just need to wait for the market to come there and set our alerts. You saw how fast we did that in reality, and all we did was read.
This time that whenever the 50 minutes end, they can't
Give me just
stop them.
Give me just a minute. Yeah. So when you're in candles, you're gonna be able to see the process, right? In line charts, you're not gonna be able to see the process. So we're just in line charts to be able to identify the zones first. So let me just go here to text. I want to be able to copy resistance, because we're going to identify the 2 resistance zones that we see. Text, open it up. And we're going to now do the other zone. So that's 1789, right? That we did. 1789. And then plus 5 is 1990. Well, 1990, what is that? 4, yeah. 1994. 1994. 1994. And just like that, we're done. We have 2 zones. Just like that. Just like that. And how do you go about it? This is how I want you to take trades, right? So now that you've identified this, you know what's going on, you know your direction, you know what you got to do. So now you can go back into your candles, right? Yes, Sean goes over a next 4th step where you can bring on an indicator called super trend, and it lets you know when the lines cross. You know, you can now change them, and you can know whether the blue line crosses the red line, it's a sell. When the blue line crosses the green line, it's a buy, right? Rudy's gonna go deep in that on his YouTube video. You want to go ahead and watch that, but I wouldn't want to go ahead and show you. This is just with step 3 alone, you're doing amazing, right? Because now, okay, Ralph, where do I go get in and take the trade? We said at TV alert zone. So okay, TV alert zone, right? We have 2 of them. So once it hits that zone, what does it mean for us? We're gonna go right here. We have what we call a long position and a short position. I have these saved, so it's always here with my tools, right? So I'm gonna take a short or a long position. Right? I'm gonna do both, long position. So if it breaks and closes this zone, where am I buying? Where am I buying from? I'm gonna buy from, what did we say? 1982. That was my alert zone. So I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go to coordinates. My entry is 1982. Set. My stop loss. When you're scalping, this is what they recommend. When you're scalping, when you're scalping, what should be your stop loss on the scalper? Your stop loss on the scalper should be no more than, let me bring this a little closer here. Bring this a little closer over here. But when you're scalping, your stop loss doesn't need to be no more than 300 pips, right?
300.
Yeah, when you're scalping.
And if I lose it?
Huh? Excuse me?
What if I lose the 300 pips?
If you lose, you lose. It's part of the process. You're supposed to lose. You're not supposed to win all the time, right?
Okay. Okay, fine.
And if you cry, listen, if you cry, it's because you are over leveraging. You're risking more than your account can handle. Because you're only supposed to risk 2 to 3% of your account at most, right? You can even risk 1%. So that's just really the process of it. If you cry, I'm telling you, it's just because you're over leveraging. So now that we have that in place, right? So let me just go ahead and identify this zone entry.
Okay, 1.00 lot is okay for me, right?
I don't know. That's not how you know. What's okay for you is what your account can allow you to handle, right? There's apps that tell you what lot size you should use, right? And I've noticed you are over leveraging, right? I'm just letting you know, but it's okay because you didn't really know, but now you know. All right, so here we have the
sorry, something else. Pips, 300 pips is how much US dollar?
Don't worry about all of that. Hold that question because it depends on your account, right? Okay. Just hold the thought. Just hold it. You're overthinking it. We're not even there yet. All right.
Oh, sorry, sir.
All right. So right here, you have the entry, right? If price were to break, this is where we're buying. Once we're buying, then we can establish our stop loss. All right. If you're just looking at it at plain sight, 300 pips is 30, right? 30. Right, so if I go right here, I want to set it to exact. This would probably be 52. 52 would put me at 30, and this is how you trade scalp. Right, scalp, you go for a 1-for-1 risk to reward. Right, 1-for-1 risk to reward. This right here was stop. Take profit is 12. Wonderful. Right? So you see this, right? This it says one risk reward is 1-for-1. So that means we're risking 1 apple for 1 apple. Correct? So that's what you want to do when you're scalping, right? Because you want to make sure you secure your take profit one should always be 1-for-1, which is your 300 pips. You have to wait till it gets there to take some profits out. No, you don't. You can take some profits out as soon as you're up 100 pips to 200 pips. I personally recommend, right? Once you're in profit of, like this is what I do. You don't have to do that, but if this is what I do. Once you're in profit of 50 to 100 pips, which is 10 points, you put your stop loss 50 pips in profit or 20 pips in profit. And that's 2-3 points. 5 points, right? You put it up in profit, so you protect your capital. If market comes back, it stops you out. You can get back in if you want to, right? Simple as that. But I always recommend after 100 pips, just make sure give the market room to breathe. After 100 pips is broken, I'm stop loss in profit, even if it's a break even and not 50 pips. That way, I'm not losing. Because right now, the most important thing is preserving your money and your capital. So okay, we have 1-for-1. I like to say go for 3-for-1, right? So you're risking 1 to earn 3. How does that work? So that means we're risking 300 for now, 900. Simple as that. That's what reward it is. We're listing 300 for 900, which is 90 points. That's all that it is. 90 points in the market. So what's take profit one? Okay, this is take profit one. If it's like me sending it in our groups, this is considered take profit one. And I don't even have to put it next there. I can just put it here because I identify my zones with a black line. And the way that I kind of set everything up already, people understand it's a black line, take profit one. So now 300 pips from this point. Excuse me, which should be here. What's 300? 300, 30, 30, 30, another 30. This will be take profit two. Right, take profit two, and I'll use this horizontal array, and I'll just go right here next to my chart, and I'll set it up. And I don't need to put it near here, near where the market is, but as long as I see here, I know, okay, that point is to take profit, this point is to take profit. And if you want to even identify, you can go ahead and write a text on each one. I personally already have a system that I've put in place to help everybody win. So what I do is I'll display this, copy paste profit. Right, go ahead and give the borders. This is kind of how I view the marketplace. Copy paste profits. The black line is multiple take profits. The last one I don't gotta put it because the green number is what? A TP. The red number is your what? Your stop loss. And you see here the 15-minute, right? Like we broke and we closed, so technically we could buy, but it's stuck in a range. I'm not feeling too, like, if it hits back there, someone could actually buy, but I feel like the market is going to rumble down and give us a sell. Let's not forget, what is this zone for us? This is our support, right? Let's not forget it's our support, but let's go back and focus on the buy. Because your question was, yo, but Ralph, how do I know what lot size is good for me? How do I know what's this, what's that, right? So
yes.
You want to go ahead and take advantage and prepare yourself. Plan ahead of time so you know what's good for your account and you don't overplay yourself. So now what I like to use, an app I like to use, there's other apps, but this is one I like to use personally, Mass Market. You have this app on your phone if you have an iPhone, but if you have an Android, you're gonna have to use a desktop version, right? You don't have to go to Explorer or your internet and just search it. You're gonna be able to use it if you have an Android. But if you have an iPhone, you can download it on App Store, and you come here. So let's say you have an account balance of, let's say $500, right? That's it, right? Let's say $500. Okay, $250. Let's put it at that, $250, and you want to risk 3% of your account, right? 3% of your account, and your asset class is crypto. And you're trading Ethereum like we are right now, right? We're going to use a real number like we have. We're going to use our real numbers. So what is our numbers, right? Our numbers, it says that we're buying at 1982, right? Right here, it says it right here, 1982. So, okay, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to put in 1982. That's where I'm going to buy. And what I need to do now, and I need to click on what? Is it a short or a long? So we identify, yes, hello. We identify that it's a long. Now, given that we identify that it's a long now, your next process, okay, what's my stop loss price? You just write it down. I know, it's crazy. Stop loss price is 1952. Okay, we go right back to it. 1952. All right, nice. And what's your take profit? Whoa, take profit. Okay, let's go find out what that is. Let's go find out what your take profit is. So we go right here. What's the take profit? We said take profit one is this, which is a 1-to-1 risk reward. So we're going to go for first take profit is 2012. And your last take profit is 2072. So I'm going to do both so you can see what lot size it tells you to use, right? So, okay, let's go right here. So let's say if you're just going for take profit one, right? I always suggest do it like you're going for take profit three, right? But let's do it for 2072 first, and then let's do it for a 1-to-1. So 2072, and everything lines up by itself. And once you do that, you just click on calculate position size. And look, it tells you the exact lot size you need to use. So it's not a matter of, oh, how much money am I going to lose? Oh, what's going to happen? You know what you're going to lose before you lose it. You know what you're going to win before you win it. Now, does this make more sense? Sure it does. It definitely should. But if it doesn't, just rewatch what I just did again and do it. That's the only way to actually grasp it. So now let's do it for the 1-to-1. So we said 2012, right? Was the 1-to-1 risk reward trade. And because I know it's a 0.02, look, because I know it's a 0.02, that means I can only put 2 take profits. I can only put 1 and the last one. I can put like maybe this and maybe the last one, because I can use 0.02, but that means I can't put all my positions 0.02. I can put 1 position of 0.02 or 2 positions of 0.01 to make sure you're respecting your 3% or your 2% risk. All right. Now for the 1-to-1, what is that? Okay, we're gonna go right here. We're gonna go right here and we're gonna click on calculate once more. What do we have here? We have a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. That means you're risking 1 for 1, and it tells you this is the same lot size. And you can divide that into 2, right? 0.01 twice, going for the same target, or that size going for 1 target. And that's it. I have an in-depth video breaking down how to do this, how to like use Nash market with risk management, proper risk management on my YouTube channel. You can refer back to it. Let me just go ahead and grab my charger, excuse me, because my laptop is about to die on me. I'll be right back, just a moment. So right here, as you can see, on my channel, let's go, my videos, library. Go to library really quickly. Go to library really quickly. Okay, so right, I have a lot of things saved. So product services, personal development, and we have trading beginner, intermediate, and right here, product service. I believe it should be in product service. So in product service, we have how to take a trade with proper risk management on SwipeCoin. So this is a big one. Open in link. Like all these videos, they're all like a must watch. Like all these videos are like they're a must watch for SwipeCoin. I made it specifically just because I understood what was going on. You can see right here, it displays. So I show it how to use it on the app as well, and how to take trades with it with your MT4, and I even take a trade in it. So I really recommend refer back to this video. Let's leave it to where current price was within price. So we're looking back at it, right? And really put up a comment if they told us 80, right? 78. Put up a comment if need be, and it really shows how to use SwipeCoin, receiving your notifications. Right now, you could go on SwipeCoin, receive notifications, right, and follow what these educators are doing just by following the strategy. So already right here, this could have been an area of what resistance as well that we just broke and closed because new 15-minute candle just opened, and we're seeing that we're in the zone. This would have been a clean buy. This could have been a clean buy, like a clean buy, like just really clean. And in this case, you could put your stop loss 300 pips, yes, below this low. But to be honest, price doesn't look like it's going to come below this low. So you don't always have to. It's from, they say from, the educators say from 200 to 300. That's generally what you need. 200 to 300. That's generally the room that you need to let the market do its flow. And this was identified as the last low in structure. So example, I don't know if you understand structure as of yet. For anybody that doesn't understand market structure is the basic of any strategy. We buy low and sell high to see, like, this is the market structure, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Market from the new high. This seems like a higher low. This didn't create a higher high. It failed to create a higher high, but it came back in again. Higher low hit again. Now we want to create a higher high. It's probably going to go above these highs and create a new high for a market that's now start rising. Who knows? But it could be a possibility. And remember, now 1-to-1. In this case, since we're risking 200 pips, 1-to-1 is no longer 300. It's going to be 200 now.
Here's my booklet.
Right? And you can take it out. So this is really how you go about using the scalper, right? So the same way I broke it down for the buys is the same way you go about it for the sells. The same exact way. No, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Let me actually go ahead and take a picture of this right now because this looks juicy, right? Juicy, right? This looks juicy right now. Yeah, this looks really, really nice right now. I like this. I like this. I'm teaching and I find something that I like. It's crazy. I like this. This looks good. Picasso, as they would say, right? And I'll just put this on the side. I'm probably gonna drop this in the group, right? In one of the groups that I'm helping everybody out with. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just ask me for the link so you can join the group. But as it is, yourself, you're already in the groups, right? If you're on this call, you're already in the group.
Wait, excuse me. Do you want to put this on your YouTube channel? I'm
probably gonna put everything on. I'm gonna put it on the channel so everyone can watch it. Everyone can get it. Because it makes sense. It's free education, and I'm all for helping people learn, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I'm all for helping people learn because it takes practice, right? It takes practice, and it's gonna help the team learn. And when you get your friends and family to understand this, they can see how you learn with the process too. Everything is a gradual process. It's a mindset. But just to make this,
I said no.
Huh?
Because my video was on.
Oh, your video wasn't on when I was recording. Your video wasn't on when I was recording, regardless. But nevertheless, that's not something you should be worried about. People are now focused on what you look like or what I look like. People are focused on the information that's in front of them and it can benefit them, right?
Yeah.
If not, in any case, I can make this a private video. But nevertheless, so this is what you need to know, right? Once you're done with this, if it's selling, once it gets to selling, you're gonna do the same thing. We're selling at the TV alert zone. TV alert zone. What is TV alert? I know you're wondering what's TV. TV means trading view. TV means trading view. That's all it means, right? Uh-huh. Trading view. And you do the same thing, sells, and you set it up. Vice versa, right? So definitely go ahead, enjoy, practice, and practice, right? This is really going to be really key to really help you get a lot of success within this whole field that we're in right now, right? So put it down to 19. Right there, got him. Put us up to right here. It doesn't mean because I set it here that's gonna happen. It's not because I set my zones that it's necessarily gonna happen. I still have to wait for the market to come there and show me something, right? Show me that's what it wants to do. So 1-to-1, I believe, what is this? 1919. Make it straight figure and you're risk up to 300. And it can only determine your stop loss once you enter, right? I'm giving this up according to if you enter at that specific zone. But if you entered upper or later, you have to go according to where you entered 300 pips, right? So if you even if I said, or even if I wrote down as 1919 the entry, what if I price only got me in a 1917 or 1916? That's where I'm getting in, and 300 pips from there, wherever it's at. Right? Does that make sense? I believe it definitely should. If it doesn't, we gotta rewatch. So over here again, once more, we stretch this out and go for 3 to 1 risk reward. What does 3 to 1 risk reward mean? It means we're risking one apple. So it means we're risking 1 apple to obtain 3 apples, right? So this is exactly what it means right here. This is how things are set up. And this is pretty much what I'm seeing happen in the market. This is possibilities, right, of what could happen very, very shortly in the marketplace. And I'm excited for it, right? So that's going to be all for today. Do you have any questions? Let me know. Do you have any questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and answer any questions you may have in regards to this. Go ahead.
Now I don't have question. I understood everything so far.
It's pretty straightforward and simple, right?
Yes, you explained it very well. Details.
So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and send you this so you can have access to this as well. And
okay.
Right
Thank you.
Let me give you this as well. Perfect. And you want to save this to your notes, keep it close to you. You can bookmark it like I did on TradingView as well. So we'll go ahead and send this your way. Then this video, must watch. I'm going to send it again to you.
Okay.
This is how you want to go about it. Let me know once you've watched those videos on IM.center. Once you've gone through those videos, go ahead and start watching the videos that I recommended from the YouTube channel, from Rudy's channel as well. All right. So that's gonna be all for today.